Ancient China Flipbook
by Kiradamo Thomas Barlow, Sean Fay, and Joe Mercurio. Philosophy and religion. Legalism. The scales represent legalism because in the philosophy of legalism, the law and order is the biggest thing. Anyone who steps out of line shall be punished. In Taoism, the yin and yang represent Taoism because for every good thing there's a bad, and for every bad thing there's a good. The bad is black, the white is good. In Confucianism is Ren and Li, which means that people should be based off of morals and not laws.
So the Four Noble Truths are basically the four main rules anyone who follows Buddhism should live by. So the first one is no one can escape unhappiness or sorrow in life. The second one, material goods can cause us misery by making us want what we cannot often have. Third one, people can reach a state of nirvana or peace through meditation. And the last one, wisdom comes from being kind and good, avoiding lies and gossip, not stealing, controlling thoughts and feelings.
So, the first invention we have is the dragon backbone pump, which was invented during the Tang Dynasty. And the dragon backbone pump was good for farmers because it was a lot easier to irrigate crops and everything. As you can tell, with the little spokes in the pump, it helped carry up almost a bucket full of water, and it replaced the job of many farmers.
So woodblock printing was something that the Tang Dynasty invented. This invention worked like stamps. A block of wood was carved out of, and they put ink on it, and they pressed it down. They did it in reverse, so it would make a good print. And it was a lot easier than writing because it was a lot less work.
So Han Dynasty achievements. And we have the sundial, which was used to tell time. The stick would be right in the middle where all the lines meet, and wherever the stick's shadow was shown, that was the time. Acupuncture, it was used to relieve pain, and those small needles were used to touch pressure points in the body, and they were small enough to not make the person bleed and not puncture too far. And then the seismograph, basically, it's just a little structure with dragons on it, and the dragons have red marbles in their mouth, and when there's a slight earthquake, the red balls would fall out of their mouth and into the balls of the frog's mouth. And even if there was a slight tremor, it would still be able to tell.
So here we have the Mongol dynasty under Kublai Khan. Kublai Khan, in case you didn't know, he's the grandson of Genghis Khan, who was the famous Mongol leader who was very destructive and took over a lot of places. So after his grandfather died, Genghis Khan, Kublai made a lot of new inventions. One of them being the Grand Canal, which he extended like a lot. And he also improved trade and trade routes in China.
So, the Mongols versus the Chinese. So, the Mongols were, in the eyes of the Chinese, kind of a violent and weird group. And they had different languages. And they dressed differently, but in different cultures, but the main thing is that the Mongols were nomadic. As you can see, they move around, but the Chinese tended to stay where they were.
So here we have the Great Wall of China, which was a very, very large wall in China. And so the main use was to keep out the Mongols from the north from invading them. Did a pretty good job. So the Great Wall, it's not sure how long it took or how many people it took to build it. And honestly, people don't even know how long it is because there's new pieces of the wall being found every day.
So we have Empress Wu. Empress Wu was the only woman to rule China, and she ruled after her husband died. And the reason she assumed the role over her sons is because she thought that her sons were not able to hold such a responsible position. And she was a strict ruler and ruled with an iron fist. But she still brought stability to China, so she had a strong foundation. And she chose advisors based strictly off skill rather than connections.
So the Forbidden City is currently a museum in Beijing, China, but formerly it was a giant palace that was the home of 24 different emperors throughout the Ming and Qing dynasties. It was also the main focus point of the government for almost 500 years in China. The Forbidden City has an 170-foot moat around it and a 32-foot wall surrounding it. There are also only 4 entrances to the Forbidden City. So it's very secluded from the public. That's it. See ya.